I think the first thing I try to do with the founders, which they hate because they're not built this way, is to get them to slow down. And I've
Mm,
experienced with, and it's all high achievers. So I also
hmm.
work with the Honor Foundation, and I work with special operators that are
Wow.
rotating back and retiring. So Navy
Yeah.
SEALs, Green Berets, um, AFSOC, Air Force, all of it. And basically, they're super high performers as well. And I'm like, you need to slow down enough to actually see the clarity of direction that you want to go in. You know what I mean? And like, I
Hmm.
think that that's really challenging for these people because they don't know how to just sit with their emotions. You know, they don't know how to do any of that stuff. So yeah, it's super challenging.
I imagine for somebody to be able to do that for others, you need to know how to do that for yourself. So, what is your process? What is your because it sounds like you need a lot of balancing your own energies out, especially after being in what sounds to me like a lot of pressure as well. What do you do for yourself to balance yourself out?
So I'm very mindful of just my energy in general, right? Who gets access to me, what's around me, what I'm scrolling on, what music I'm listening to, who's just getting my energy in general.
Hmm.
That's huge. I think that's probably the number one component, right? Your environment. But as far as my day to day routines, I mean, I do a Dr. Joe daily, for an hour. I do this kind of sun salutation to child's pose 3 times in the morning, and it's like one's a release, gratitude, and then a filling up of how I want to approach the day. I journal every day. I read every day. But remember, I've created a life where I have a lot of time
Yeah, yeah.
and I have a lot of peace. And as I build this next chapter, I've actually had a couple of advisors, one I just spoke to today, where I'm very mindful of how I'm going to go into this next chapter because remember, I understand the internet game as good as anyone. I could start low ticket funnel, setters, closers, build a community, start making 100 grand a month again. And like to do that though requires it's not who I am anymore. And so what I would tell people
Mm,
also is who are you and who the fuck do you want to be in this next chapter of your life? Because
hmm.
for me, I like moving a little slower. I'm approaching 50, right? Like I like having more methodical time in my day. I just saw this thing about Tim Ferriss. He's like, how does your day look? He's like, honestly, it's pretty boring. I don't do much of anything. And I take about 5 weeks to make a decision. And
Wow.
then once he makes that decision, now it's fucking balls to the wall. But
Yeah.
that's how I am too. And so it's this kind of pendulum swing. And I
Mm.
think that, just now that you're talking on this subject, I want to share with the audience, there's a big thing that went around. So, Alex Ramosi, right? I love Alex
Yeah.
Ramosi. He's
Yeah.
amazing at what he does, but I think he's a miserable fuck. And I think he's suffering. I'm just being
Yeah.
honest. I think deep inside he suffers with miserable fuck's not the right word. I think deep inside he suffers. And I watched him with Tony Robbins and I was so proud of the guy because he really opened up to Tony and he admitted and Tony's like, fuck your suffering. These are Tony Robbins' exact words. Realizing that we're all chasing, but I'm telling you right now, anything over, call it 5K a week, there's no ROI unless you just want to do good things and have impact. But to kill for that, there's no ROI. And so what you really start to see is like, what kind of life do you actually want to build? Because I sit with my room, like, cool, you can add 10 more zeros to my bank account right now, and I'm still going to go to the gym in the morning. I'm still going to go to my coffee shop. I'm still, whatever it is. And I think people are solving for X with a formula that gets them Y. And I think that that's a big problem in life. And I think that that's what I've learned. And that's what I give my clients is I've really slowed down and found peace in my life.
Mm.